They didn't play a season last year. His school created a one-game showcase for him. So it is not criticizing Trey Lance, who's going to be special. If I told you right now, if you said to me Trey Lance is going to wind up being the best of all the quarterbacks drafted this year, you would get no argument from me. He may wind up being that. But he's going to take the longest to get there. And by that, I mean Mac Jones could start week 1. I believe he'll be ready. Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson are going to start week 1. Justin Fields looks eminently ready to start week 1. Trey Lance does not, and that's okay. They traded 2 first-round picks to go up, 3 first-round picks to go up and get him because he's going to be a star for 15 years. Don't rush it. Trey Lance is spectacular, but he is not ready.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Jacksonville. They're going to get Trevor Lawrence killed. They need to be real careful. And I thought Mike Tannenbaum made this point well with us on Get Up today. Urban Meyer has never had a bad offensive line. If there's one thing that college coaches from top-level programs don't know anything about, it's how you coach with a bad offensive line. Urban Meyer has always had 5 studs on his offensive line. He's going to have 3 linemen drafted every single year. Florida, Ohio State. His offensive line is always great, always giving him the freedom to do anything he wants. So one of the most significant transitions, I would think, of being the coach of an NFL team for him, especially a terrible one. They were 1-15 for a reason last year, is he's going to have to figure out how to coach with a rookie quarterback who he needs to develop and keep safe and a bad offensive line. Their tackles are not going to hold up. So whatever it is they need to do, even if that means starting the season with Gardner Minshew, as crazy as that may sound, the Jaguars allowed 44 sacks last season. Trevor Lawrence got sacked 43 times in his entire career at Clemson. You cannot put him in this position. Look what happened to Joe Burrow last year. He's standing back there behind a bad offensive line, and he's a tough kid, and so he wants to do it, and he's throwing the ball all over the place. And the next thing you know, he's leaving the stadium in an ambulance. And you do not want to see that happen to Trevor Lawrence. So my biggest concern right now in Jacksonville, they're going to get that kid killed. It is on Urban, no one else. It is on Urban to design a situation that he will be saved.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Mac Jones, who is going to be the starter in New England sooner rather than later. I think they will keep Cam out there for week 1, although I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. The most obvious juncture to make a big change, I think, would be following the Brady game. You can almost divide the Patriots season into what happens before the Brady game and after the Brady game. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I know we think of Bill Belichick as an automaton, but week 4, Tom Brady is coming to New England to play on a Sunday night game, and that is going to be the most hyped NFL regular season game, quite possibly of all time. So I think that could be a moment in time to be looking to make a change, and it might not be because Cam Newton is struggling. I really hope things go well for Cam. But everything I saw Thursday night, I wasn't here Friday to comment on it, everything I saw Thursday night suggested to me Mac Jones is ready right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the starter week 1. At least I wouldn't be stunned. But I think he'll be the starter sooner rather than later. I think in the first half of the season for certain.
Number 2.
Number 2 is the one everyone came away talking about. Justin Fields is the most exciting player to come to Chicago since Derrick Rose. I'm not going to go nuts on Michael Jordan. I hear these people saying, oh, he's the best thing to happen to us since Jordan. Let's not forget what Derrick Rose was when he came into the sport. But I do not believe they will start him week 1. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they have a plan, and I think they're going to stick to it. And, you know, there's a part of me that thinks that's okay. As much fun as Justin Fields is, he's going to play this year. There's no question of that. But the one thing I'll say about making the move to Justin Fields is it's kind of the move you can't unmake. If you go to whenever you go to Justin Fields, he becomes your quarterback now forever. And if you want to have a chance to see what you can do with Andy Dalton, if you want to give Fields a little bit of time to sit and think, then I think the time to do that is at the beginning. Because you can't do it in the middle or at the end. You can't go from Fields to Dalton. There's no reason, barring the kind of terrible play that you don't even want to start talking about. I actually understand the logic of giving Dalton the start at the beginning of the season. See how it goes. See if you win a couple of games. The schedule is brutal. The division has Aaron Rodgers in it again, so it's out of reach. You have time to play with here. Everything you do in Chicago has to be in the long-term best interest of Justin Fields. If that means not starting him week 1, that's okay with me.
Number 1.
And then number 1. Zach Wilson is my new favorite person in the world. I love Zach Wilson in a way that I don't even really know how to describe. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I have been a fan of the New York Jets since before I was born. I come by it honestly. My parents were season ticket holders. Before I was born, it has been part of my life, all of my life. And I've fallen in love a lot of times. And you know that I was against the idea of giving up on Sam Darnold. But the time has come to turn the page. And the first pass Zach Wilson threw the other night, we sat down, Stevie and I, we sit on the couch, and the Jets get the ball second. They kick off to the Giants. They 3 and out with Mike Glennon at the quarterback. And then they punt it back to the Jets. First play is a handoff. Second play, second down, second play of the Zach Wilson era. He drops back and he zips a ball up the left sideline to Corey Davis. And the ball got there so fast the camera couldn't move fast enough. The camera didn't get there fast. Were you watching this, Hembo?
I did see the replay. Yes, the Jets replay guys aren't used to this kind of thing.
You can't. No one has ever seen a person throw the ball that hard wearing a Jet uniform, maybe any uniform. So they talk about this magical arm talent. Look, I'll raise my hand. I admit it. I never saw BYU play last year. I didn't know the Jets were going to take this kid. So I watched some video and all that kind of stuff, magical arm talent. The very first pass he threw, I said, oh, I see it now. This kid, that ball got there so fast, the camera couldn't move fast enough. And in that moment, I said, I'm in love. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.